Hey everybody, Alan Lepofsky here. I wanted to do a quick video to follow up from my tweets this morning because sometimes tone and intent can get lost in text, so let's just do it here live. The conversation was about sharing knowledge and information, and about who should be doing that and who shouldn't. And I want to be clear, everyone is entitled to have their voice be heard. It's one of the beauties of social media. Here I am in my backyard sharing a story, broadcasting with all of you. But it's also one of the challenges of social media. It gives everybody a voice. So how do you find that right needle in the haystack? How do you cut through all the noise and find the right information? And I want to be clear, everybody's entitled to share. It's how you go about it that I think makes an impact on me, whether a positive or a negative one. There's a fine line between what I consider arrogance and confidence. I think being confident is great, being arrogant is not. On the flip side of things, there's equally that line between being humble and being cowardice. I like when people are humble, but don't let that fear paralyze you into not sharing information. Being humble is great, but you can be humble and confident. It's better than being arrogant. I think there's a story that could hopefully maybe sum up what I'm saying here. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I was living in Boston and in Cambridge, and I used to go golfing with some of my friends' dads. Now, these guys worked at some of the biggest tech luminary companies in the world, pioneering companies, Xerox PARC, BBN Technologies, Raytheon. And they, without fail, every time we'd get out there at Fresh Pond, they would say, "So Alan, what are you working on at IBM these days?" That's where I was. And I would proudly, want to tell them about the projects we were on or the things we were building. Without fail, every time they would respond, "We did that 30 years ago." It used to infuriate me. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what we're doing is different. I would get very defensive. And then I suddenly started to learn. Being defensive didn't help. This was actually an opportunity. Instead, why don't I ask them, well, how is what I'm doing different from what you did? Or more importantly, what did you learn from the things that you built? And to see the look on their faces change and to see their excitement go off and the spark in their eyes when they would proudly want to talk about what they had built, that is where I suddenly started to get some of my knowledge, some of my advice, some of my guidance. Now, the painful reality is I'm finding myself on the flip side of that coin now. I can't think of how many times I want to say, 30 years ago we did that. So what's important is that I learn from that experience and think, well, now, instead of being arrogant and having a chip on my shoulder and saying, well, we did that 30 years ago, how can we help people learn from our experiences and guide the things that are being built now, the decisions that are being made now, the innovations that are coming out now? So, I don't know, I hope this was a little bit clearer. I think there is a balance between fresh ideas and innovation and a fresh set of eyes taking a look at something that's not jaded or cynical based on the past, but it has to be balanced with knowledge and learning and experiences from the past. If you can combine those two things, I think that's a recipe for success. So, I hope that makes sense. I hope this guidance helps some of you. If anybody wants to reach out to me and ever ask about some of the projects I worked on or the things I'm working on now or the things I hope to work on for the next 10, 20 years, let's have those conversations. I equally want to hear what you're working on. I want to hear what you're good at, but more importantly, I want to hear what you don't know, the questions you want to ask and the things you want to do to make yourself better. All right, I hope this makes sense. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.